Bună dimineața și bun găsit la BU. Sunt Sabina Iosub și vă invit să rămâneți alături de mine în următoarea jumătate de oră. O să discutăm chestiuni care ne interesează, o să vedeți, în viața de zi cu zi. Today, here with me in the European Parliament in Strasbourg are Maria de Graça Carvalho from EPP Portugal. Thank you so much for being with us. And also Nicolás González Casares from S&D Spain. Thank you so much for being with us. We are looking now at what you are debating here in the European Parliament, in the plenary, and what's going to change in our life. Let's start with you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. We are debating and work very hard in a package of two reports. First part, the review of the electricity market design, where Mr. Casares is the main rapporteur, I am shadow. The second part, we call it REMIT, but what is this? Is a regulation to protect the consumers against manipulation on the electricity market, on the prices, so very useful for to avoid crises like we had in the past. We have managed to have inside the Parliament a good cooperation, and we have in both cases consensus and compromises between four groups. EPP, Socialists, Liberals and Greens. Now, it was announced on Monday that we are going to enter into negotiations. Political groups or group of MEPs may challenge this. I heard that we had the challenge, so we need to vote. But I'm very confident because we have a strong agreement between the four very important political groups that we can enter in negotiations. Usually, I don't oppose that we vote in plenary, debate in plenary, but we are in a pressure to finalize very important files, and we have elections, so we need to finalize before the elections so that they enter into force and protect our consumers.
Let's explain to our viewers what is actually changing. What's the impact? What's the final goal?
The final goal is to protect consumers, and we experience a shock after the invasion of Ukraine with the inflation and the gas prices rising. So now we want to give citizens the opportunity to feel that also this energy transition is good for their pockets, not only for the energy companies. So we are putting measures for medium and long time to support schemes that help citizens in order not to pay a lot when we experience a crisis like the previous one. And also to improve some of the problems that we have seen in this market during this crisis. We have a big dependency on the Russian gas. We left away a big part of the Russian gas, but now we know that we can solve some of the problems that the market saw during this crisis. My idea was to protect consumers and also to protect the energy transition. We need more renewables because renewables are also cheaper than other energy sources, with no discrimination to other sources. But we have to keep in mind that we are fighting also against climate change, and the energy and the electricity, renewable electricity, is one of the solutions to fight against climate change.
Let's explain what is the situation in your countries, and I will start with Portugal. Afterwards, I will discuss with Maria Grappini about Romania. But it's important to see what's happening in your countries, how have you coped with the situation, and to learn from each other. Please.
Portugal is in a relative good position because we have invested a lot in renewables. We are one of the countries in Europe that has more electricity production from renewables, and because of our geographical position, we were not very dependent on the Russian gas. We had only 2% of the imports of gas from Russia. However, our consumers pay a high price for the electricity, and it was increased during the crisis. So one of the objectives in this package is that everyone, especially the more vulnerable and also the enterprise and SMEs, but in general everyone will benefit for the lowering of the price of the renewables. We are pushing the renewables. We know that the renewables are cheaper, so in a medium, long term, the consumers that are doing this effort should benefit from that lower price on energy.
What about Spain?
It's not very different than Portugal.
You are neighbors, of course,
we are
yeah.
neighbors, and we have also the weather conditions and the renewable potential is almost the same. We have experienced a big deployment of, for example, solar power during the last 2 years. But we have seen in the market is, in the crisis, the electricity prices increased a lot, more than double the normal prices. And now it's true, we have reduced these prices, but not at the same level as previously. So a certain volatility remains in the market. We have to solve that. We put in place, for example, the Iberian section that helps citizens in order to pay less in their bills, but it's not clear that we can reduce at the same price, at the same level, at the starting point of the crisis. So I think this electricity market reform could help also to give a signal of stability. That's why I don't like this challenge that they are presenting other groups in the Parliament to go for amendments, because we don't want delays. We need to give a clear signal to the markets that we can solve this problem right now before the European elections. And we are doing in common, and we are claiming other groups to do the same.